On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks just gave up against the Chicago Bulls. Cooper Flagg going to be part of a bunch of games like this to end the season. It's probably not going to be good for him. Today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
Nick, that's a good question.
Good morning, Isaac. All these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave you.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Thanks for being in every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen in the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Check out the FanDuel app, see what's available during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Central. And joining me, as always, the Postgame prodigy from the great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. What'd you see from the Dallas Mavericks tonight, Slightly Biased?
Man, I mean, that was a lot of fun, and I'm just super happy that this is where my basketball team's at, and we got like 40 more of these, and pretty much all of them will almost be certainly exactly like this. So I'm, a lot to look forward to, 100%.
We'll talk about the Mavs' loss to the Chicago Bulls. The Mavs do have 43 games remaining on the schedule. We're almost halfway through this, and it feels like we've gone through 4 different seasons so far this season. We'll talk about
I saw we had 40 games left. I was like, really? I was hoping it was 20.
How are we not at least 50 games through the season yet? We'll get into all that. We'll talk about, Ryan Nembhard. We'll talk about Jaden Hardy.
There's nothing to talk about.
The garbage time god. Let's start here, though, because if Anthony Davis is going to be out for an extended period of time, the Mavs are going to end up trading Anthony Davis, or if he's just going to be out for the rest of the season, the Mavs are going to play a lot of games like this. And you see a game like this where the Mavs just come out decent at the beginning, and then Jason Kidd gets ejected with about halfway through the first quarter, where Max Christie came down and chased down a shot, blocked it. They called it a goaltending. Scott Foster and his crew called goaltending. Jason Kidd's trying to call a challenge, and Scott Foster gives him the timeout, but does not award him the challenge. So during the timeout, in the commercial break, Jason Kidd just goes ballistic at Scott Foster, and he gets ejected. And then I think the rest of the game, especially with Cooper Flagg, the Mavs took that cue from Jason Kidd and just started complaining about the refs, trying to foul bait. It felt very familiar to games we've seen in the past. And I just thought that completely took them out. It was the opposite of what sometimes an ejection from a coach can do for a team. I thought it just completely took him out of the game. Cooper Flagg was throwing his hands up. He was on the ground. He was frustrated with the refs just over and over again. Even when he got a foul, he was waiting for it as a late whistle, and he threw his hands up in the air and then got the foul. I think it completely took him out. This is one of the worst games we've seen from Cooper Flagg. 11 points, 2 assists, 4 of 13 from the field, 28 minutes, 5 turnovers. The ball was just going through his hands. It just felt like the least engaged Cooper Flagg game we've had, and it all kind of felt like, all right, now we're all going in this tank direction, and it felt like the players were actually on board with it this time, because they were just all right, whatever.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I look, losing games at this juncture, whatever. We've come on here after losses. I'm like, oh, whatever. This team's gonna lose games. There was some fun and exciting stuff. This was the first game this year, because they've had some blowout losses, and that's gonna happen. This was the first game this year, though, or at least one in a while, where I'm just like, oh man, this is bad. The teams just look so disengaged. Even on the bench, guys just sitting around, just whatever, man. How much is left in this game? Just not good basketball at all. And if you want to go a losing direction, that's one thing to improve your pick. But this is a brand of basketball that we saw tonight that's just not acceptable by anybody. And a continued trend this direction, losing it's not good for anybody. It's not. And this should be a 1-game thing, and maybe they go back to losing games, but at least they're a little bit more competitive and stuff. And if that's the case, then whatever. It's just one of those random January games in Chicago. It's cold outside. The weather there is terrible. We traveled, whatever.
The court is still slick because they had that game postponed the other night. Chicago didn't even play their game because the court was so slick. Guys were sliding, but there's just a lot of factors, but I think you're right.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then hey, that's the case, whatever. But if this begins a trend, then there's going to be a problem on our hands, I think, because this tonight was bad.
That's the thing to watch going forward, because when we were talking about it, like games like this are not good for development. Just throwing guys out there, everybody just throwing things against the wall. Naji Marshall just driving. He's like, all right, I'm gonna at least Naji Marshall tried and like gave a crap during this game and went in there. But I don't know that this brand of basketball is good for a team going forward. And we have not seen this brand of basketball from this Mavs team. That's one of the reasons why I'm kind of surprised tonight at this one, is because this team has tried hard, no matter all the things that they've been throughout this whole year, basically, of crazy Mavs basketball and Mavs, like, I don't know, franchise existence and franchise news and all that. They have tried hard. We've watched them, and even games where they're getting beat really bad, and you're like, there's no way this Mavs team is going to win this game, but they're going to keep trying hard. They're going to keep going out there and giving it their all. And the weird thing about a game like this, 13 of 35 from three, 37%, 14 turnovers, only had like 5 in the first half or something like that. The two problems they've had the most, the turnovers and threes, they did okay in that and just got destroyed everywhere else, it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, they were getting threes up, to their credit. I mean, that's one thing that we've monitored. You know, Nembhard shot 6 threes. I like that number. Hardy obviously comes in and it's go time for him, and he was able to do the Hardy stuff at the end of the game. It's pretty remarkable. So that's good and encouraging. But yeah, I mean, if this is the direction the team's going to go in, really at the end of the day, the only thing we're going to care about on a game-to-game basis is Coop. And this I thought was his worst game of his season. Like, I know he had that game against the Thunder. That was the 5th game of his career.
2 points in 31 minutes. You didn't think that one was worse than this one?
No, this one was just like, I didn't think anything he did impacted the game in a positive way. And he's a rookie, and he's going to have games like these. All these rookies have games like this. It is what it is. So I'm actually really interested to see how he bounces back from this one. So I'm like excited to see what the next game looks like for him.
Yeah, if he has 2 games out of 37, 38 like this, I think that was his 37th game. If he has 2 games like this out of 37 as a rookie, I think I'm fine with that, right?
Well, he did have that 3-game stretch recently where he was just not good.
Yeah, but at least those games he had 8 rebounds, 7 assists. You know, he was at least
right. This is the first game. The assist number
he was impacting the game in some way. But yeah, this one he only had, what did he finish with? One rebound,
one assist, 2 assists, 5 turnovers. Yeah, it was just, I don't know what it was, man. Like you said it, he had 4, I think, possessions in the second half where he literally, the ball just slipped through his hands.
He's just not engaged. And I really do. I started watching it because right after Jason Kidd gets ejected. Jason gets ejected at the 5:44 mark in the first quarter. 3:22, Flagg drives, floater, miss, no call. He's frustrated. He's on the ground, slow to get back. And the possession right before that, he was stripped in the post. And so you're like, those 2 possessions right back to back after that ejection, it felt like the refs, like the idea of the refs took him out. And these are some of the things we're having to watch about Cooper Flagg, because you want to see, all right, what's the thing that's going to get you? Every star has the thing that gets them eventually. For Luka, it was the refs and getting frustrated. It would take him out of games sometimes. And so we're watching this with Flagg to see, all right, is that something? I have not seen that from him at all this season, which is why I started to track it during the game. And just every time he didn't get a call, he was frustrated, throwing his hands up in the air. When his teammates didn't get calls either, he was throwing his hands up in the air, trying to figure out what was going on, yelling at the refs. It wasn't as bad as a vintage Luka yelling at the refs game, but I do think that was a factor in him just completely getting taken out, because it's a helpless kind of feeling when you're like, I'm doing the thing, I'm supposed to be getting to the free throw line, I'm supposed to be getting fouled, I'm getting fouled, and I'm not getting the call, and there's just nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more. I do agree that there was moments in the game where it felt like he was disengaged. So, I mean, again, it could be one of these games where it's just like, dude, random January game, the whole team looked trash tonight. Like, there really is next to 0 good takeaways in this game. I guess there's maybe 1 or 2, but
Nembhard had 16 and 6, 16 points.
Nembhard was pretty okay in this game. I did think he was getting fried defensively, but we kind of know that's his sort of MO, but unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see, because the whole team looked disengaged and disinterested. And one thing you got to remember here too, man, is Coop has never experienced this in his life
at all.
Like, he has never experienced losing this many games. He's never experienced not just losing, but coming out and looking completely helpless against a bad Chicago Bulls team. Like, he's never been on a team like this. And I do wonder if that's maybe factoring in, but I'm really interested to see how he bounces back against the Nets.
That's the key for him for the rest of the season. There will be more games like this, and he has never experienced something like this. How will he respond and react to a game where he doesn't play well, team doesn't play well, they play pretty helpless, he feels helpless when you just can't do anything, and how will he bounce back and lead this team? This is his team now, right? Like even more so than before Anthony Davis got hurt. I think like it is now your team to lead because everybody else is gone. Kyrie's not here. He may not come back. AD may not come back. We'll see what happens. Coming up, let's talk about the rest of this game. I also want to ask you about the AD injury. We haven't gotten your take yet, and you got absolutely roasted on this podcast yesterday. We'll talk about that coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. Fridays already feel different during basketball season. FanDuel is making them even better every Friday night before games tip off. FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekends with NBA Happy Hour. You can check it out in the FanDuel app from 5 to 6:30 Central Time. There's all kinds of things you can do on their conference odds. Are the Bulls in the conference odds? What are the Bulls odds to win the conference? Plus 20,000. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Knicks plus 280 to win the East. Pistons plus 390 to win the East. Celtics plus 420. Interesting. Cavs plus 500. That's throwing away money. Magic plus 1,000. Sixers plus 1,200. Interesting there to win the East. NBA draft, which is where we're living right now. Darren Peterson minus 125 to be the number one pick. AJ DeBonsa plus 110. Cam Boozer plus 1,000. That was interesting. He's not even in the top. He's not even close to those two guys. So go check out FanDuel. All kinds of good things you can do, especially on Fridays from 5 to 6:30 Central Time. A little basketball, a little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on the FanDuel app, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Also brought to you by BetterHelp. This episode sponsored by BetterHelp as we roll into the new year. There's a lot of pressure to chase a new you, to figure out what is going on with your life. But sometimes it's not just about reinventing yourself. It's about feeling a little less weighed down. Just putting the cares of life a little bit to the side and figure out how to navigate through them. Therapy can help you understand what's been holding you back by giving you an outside perspective on your emotions, your motivations, and your relationships, especially your relationship to a basketball team. Their therapists are fully licensed in the U.S. and work under a strict code of conduct. They can help you get matched with a therapist based on your needs and preferences, so you're not doing all the legwork yourself, which is great. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA. BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every day. Check out the QR code for different ways to follow the show. The Everydayers Club, you get access to ad-free episodes of this show, as well as the Discord. The Casey Smith Memorial Hospital was riled up yesterday. That chat that we've got going on there. We named the Anthony Davis wing, the Kristaps Porzingis wing. Now we have, and we also have the Luka Doncic cafeteria.
Nice.
We have raced up over there. So go check out that. Links in the description. All right, Slightly. Real quick about Ryan Nembhard. 16 points led the team, which anytime your team is led by 16 points, terrible. Not a great sign.
Yeah.
I would love to look up how many times in NBA history a team has won when the leading scorer had 16 points. Can't imagine it's many.
No, probably not.
Maybe in the 50s. 16 points, six assists, 3 of 6 from the three. Like you said, he was taking those threes. He was hitting some shots, but he was a minus 15, only had 2 turnovers, and he was just getting roasted on defense. And I think this is one thing we'll just keep having to watch with him the rest of the season, I think, is all right, what is he capable of doing? What kind of defense is he capable of playing? Who is he capable of playing against? Is it better against certain players than others? Because I thought Kobe White was just taking it to him over and over again. And he looked, man, it was like, there's one play in particular. He just took him to the free throw line, just rose up over the top of him, didn't even fade away that far, and just like rose up over the top of him like he wasn't even there and took a jumper.
Yeah, I mean, that's just I know the exact play you're talking about. It really wasn't even a bad defense by Nimby, but that's just the physical, like, there wasn't anything that he did necessarily. I was like, oh, what are you like? He didn't just get beat. It was just, those are the physical limitations there. Yeah, I mean, it was a good game offensively for him, especially early on. But yeah, I mean, like you said, 16 points, the leading scorer. That's not going to get you very far as a team. But he was probably the bright spot, I would have to say, if you were just to take away anything. I thought Musa had some nice plays defensively, like very active. Obviously,
5 points, 10 boards, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. He had a block on Modest Buzelis where he was coming around the rim, and he had that reverse and blocked him right there. I thought that was a great play. He does have an energy and just a bounciness that this Mavericks team is going to need down the stretch.
Yeah.
What did they say on the broadcast? He's got like 16 games left, which kind of surprised me because it's not how many games you play, it's how many games you're active. And so that's why it's kind of hard to track these things. But he's only got 16 games left, so we'll see. He'll probably run all those out.
What's the point of
Activating him and not
activating
playing?
these two-way guys if they're not going to play for emergencies? I guess.
No idea. Especially when Dwight has not played very much at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Lively has been out all season. Anthony Davis.
Did Dwight get hurt in this game? He played 1 minute.
That is a great question. I don't know.
This was just a dreadful game, man.
I'm gonna bet he got hit in the face.
And that 1 minute, probably.
1 minute tonight. I don't see anything about Dwight Powell getting hurt, so we'll see. We'll see if that comes out. Maybe they're just like, you know what? Let's save Dwight from this. Franchise legend. We'll give him the game so he keeps going up in games played in Mavs history.
Yeah.
We'll just give him that and see what happens.
I respect that.
Anthony Davis goes out with the injury. It is a tendon injury. And on this show yesterday, Isaac had an all-time rant of just about the whole thing and especially about people that were saying that the Mavs should keep Anthony Davis and not just trade him for garbage or not just trade him for anything. And you put us on your stream. Isaac said, stand up and wave if you're somebody that was saying that. And you got up and stood and waved on your show. Your thoughts now on the Anthony Davis situation saga now for the Mavs.
Well, I'm still going to stand by everything that I said, which is I wouldn't trade him for garbage filth. And that remains to be true. I mean, I saw would I trade him right now for Jakob Poeltl and RJ Barrett? Absolutely not.
Still?
No, that trade is garbage trash.
But you did say you would do the expirings.
Yeah, maybe I would come around to that one, but that would depend on my mood.
What's your mood right now?
My mood right now is, well, this team's going to lose a bunch of games anyway. That's what everyone wants to do. So maybe you can worry about there are a couple guys on this roster I think you should trade in the next few weeks. Absolutely.
I mean, I think we're going to see that for sure.
Right. I'm saying, I don't know if we want to dive into that right now and go over the names because it's just that point, but there are maybe 3 guys who I think yes, those guys need to be on new teams by February 5th.
Klay Thompson.
Yes.
Daniel Gafford.
Yes.
Daniel Gafford, I thought, did not play well tonight at all.
No, and Gaff, this is not his strong suit. What's being asked of him on this team currently? Not his strong suit. Well, let's get him to a team where it makes sense for him. He
usually beats the Celtics or the Bulls pretty bad though. Even last year without Luka, he had 17 points.
Yeah, I know.
3 minutes. And
it really is weird because his numbers last year without Luka it was the best stretch of basketball he'd ever played. And this year it's not there. My guess would be that he's just had zero rhythm all year long, none at all.
You're right.
So asking him to do much of anything is just, where last year was I'm catching lobs, I'm feeling good, I'm having these field goal made streaks going on. Okay, yeah, I'll have a couple games where I'll get some post hooks and I don't need to be set up by anybody.
But he's got no rhythm. It started with the ankle injury. He's just in and out of the lineup. And even when he was playing, you could tell he was dealing with that ankle. He took a hard fall at the beginning of the third quarter in this one too. Him and Okoro just got tangled up, and then Okoro fell hard on him. They ended up staying in the game, which is good. But yeah, just tough one from Gafford. So Klay, Gafford, and Naji.
Yeah, I mean any of these, and none of those guys are old besides Klay. Really, Naji and Gafford aren't old, but. If you can get return on value for either of those guys, you should do it. Just know it's going to be ugly. It really is. February onward for this team, unless Kyrie comes back or unless AD's back and, you don't trade him and you come back and you play him and you're just all right, our record's already terrible. We'll get a chance to see this trio at the very least. Then maybe we'll get some competitive basketball because I do think Kyrie will just do wonders for Cooper. I mean, I'm still a big time advocate of Kyrie needs to come back, regardless of whatever direction you want to go towards. But yeah, it's going to be some bad, ugly basketball.
End of the first quarter, it was Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, Klay Thompson, Dwight Powell, and I was like, how is this a lineup I'm watching on this?
They played every active player tonight.
The team that we were talking about is maybe one of the deepest in Mavs history. Now we're looking at this lineup.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Did you find it as funny as me that as soon as Frank Vogel took over as the coach, when Jason Kidd got ejected, he put in D'Angelo Russell?
That is kind of funny that happened, but I don't think that means much. But yeah, that was pretty funny. D'Lo's another guy. If any team out there is just so desperate for guard help, please God.
I think he's a buyout candidate.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's cheap enough that I wonder if a team is just like, oh, we just need a backup guard. Like, we'll trade an expiring in a second.
Yeah, or a future second that ends up not ever.
Yeah.
Or cash. Would they take cash?
Maybe.
Owners could use some cash.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
His contract's not guaranteed, right? That's a team option.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be buyout guy, maybe.
I would think he would want to. He's not playing at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the D'Angelo Russell market would be out there,
It's
though.
a player option next year. Player option for $5.9 million.
I think there's like, isn't there some non-guarantees in there that makes it like a pseudo team option? I thought was the thing.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything about that. I think it's just a straight player option.
Really? Really? That's
This is gonna be bad.
Yeah, player option guaranteed.
The rest of the season is going to be interesting, and I'm sure probably tomorrow night we'll do the show. Like, what's the rest of the season for? What are they playing for? What's the point? I think we'll probably do that show tomorrow. But Mavs are now back to 8th in the tank race.
Yeah, there you go. And the Hornets are walloping the Jazz right now. So I think you could jump them in the tank race and become 7th.
Yeah, the Hornets and
tonight.
the Jazz are both ahead or below, whichever way you want to say, the Mavs right now.
Yeah, so you could be 7th.
Pelicans got a win the other night.
I think if this were to be your reality for the rest of the season, my assumption would be you could get to 6 realistically.
Yeah, you could end the season at 6 probably.
That's probably where you end up.
Something insane happens with the Pelicans, maybe you get to 5.
Right, maybe the Pelicans go on a hey, we don't have our pick. March,
the Pelicans could go on a 6-game win streak right now and pass the Mavs. Like
I could see a world where it's March and teams are really shutting down, and the Pelicans are like, we got no reason to shut down. Like,
yeah, what's the point?
Yeah,
they're keeping all their guys anyway. They're not trading them.
That's obscene. I mean that.
Yeah, what do you
obscene.
think about that choice?
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So the reason I think like Gafford, Naji, like those guys you trade because those are role guys. Like, those guys are expendable in the league. That's just the reality. And if teams want to give you assets for those guys in a lost season, you should almost always do it. PJ's one where I'm like, I don't know. PJ's so valuable to me where it's like, if a team blew you away in the summer or something, then okay. But that's a guy that you probably entertain keeping around. Yeah, if Trey Murphy has a serious market and teams are willing to trade, like, I don't want to, probably not Desmond Bane type of returns, but like multiple firsts.
And maybe 3 instead of 4.
I mean, they're idiots if they don't do that. What are you keeping him for? I do not get it.
Yeah, that one's weird.
And the way Herb's looked this year, if you could still swing a first for Herb, I think you should do that.
Well, I've seen Pelicans fans and people saying, we can't trade Herb, he's our culture. And I was like, the culture that is 9 wins? Like,
yeah.
What are you the culture thing for the Mavs is an interesting one going forward too. The Mavs, all their culture guys are out. PJ's gone, Lively's gone, Kyrie's gone, right? Like, it just feels like Brandon Williams gives them a little spark here and there. He was out tonight. Doesn't feel like they have that guy.
This team really needs to prioritize in the draft or whatever, just smart decision makers, ball handlers, because there's moments in tonight's game where I'm like, man, like what some of these, yeah, I don't want to single anybody out, but it's just like some plays where
you're gonna hurt their feelings. Like,
a guy's cut. Oh, it's just like passes that aren't being made, balls not moving in transition. Like you're going up for you get fouled, but you're going up on a post up and you got a wide open cutter. That's just an easy 2 points, and you're not making the pass. It's just like there needs to be some better decision makers on this team.
Well, they don't have any point guards, right? They have Nembhard, and that's it. D'Angelo Russell's not been played like a point guard, hasn't really played well or like a point guard this season. Literally Nembhard.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's kind of why I like Caleb Martin's minutes sometimes, because I'm like, this is a guy who knows how to be an NBA player. It's just his shot has abandoned him so badly that it's
He's
just
had to
preventing
adjust
him.
everything.
Yeah, it's preventing him from being an NBA player. But he at least like it feels like he's always in the right spot and is making good passes. But his inability to shoot has just completely.
It does feel like you have a one side or the other of this team right now, where you're like, all right, I feel good about decisions made from Flagg for the most part, Max for the most part, Nembhard for the most part, Naji for the most part. He's definitely got some tunnel vision, but he's at least driving, getting to the rim.
Right. Naji's ability to get to the rim is super important. And he was kind of the guy where I was saying in transition, man, it feels like Naji never comes off the ball.
No, he's got it and he's going to the rim, especially in a game like tonight. He's like, I'm just going to get.
I can't really blame him in a game like tonight, but it's something I've been noticing.
Klay usually makes good decisions.
Klay, I feel like gets into these modes where he's like, my team needs a bucket and I'm gonna be the one to give it to him.
He forces the issue a lot because I think that he sees that this team needs something.
But then it's like, he had the moment where I was like, all right, I'm kind of done with this garbage game. Like he took a sidestep
Got
baseline.
blocked on a three.
He got blocked on a three. That was a nice defensive play. But he took a sidestep like baseline jumper, contested baseline jumper that missed, and then it led to I believe like a transition three for the Bulls. That's when I was like, all right, this is just not watchable.
It's tough. And some of these guys are young. Flagg, Max, Ryan Nembhard.
Yeah. The Bulls in transition tonight, this was a 100th percentile transition game on the season.
It was 29-0 fast break points at one point in the third quarter, I think.
See, it's a game like this where it's like you want to tank everything. That's fine. This needs to be understood. I hope so within the team. Like, hey, that's not acceptable at any point. Like, I get, we're without guys. Our coach gets ejected early on in the game. AD was out. Like, these guys aren't idiots. Like, they kind of can sense the direction that this team's going, right? So it's like, yeah, man, it's still a game like tonight is not acceptable. I mean, a 29-0 fast break discrepancy. That really is like that's and you hate to have analysis. It's just like, oh, they tried harder, like, oh, they just wanted it more. But like that is right there. Like, yeah, they got out and ran. You had no answer for it. You didn't get back. They ran off of makes. They ran off of misses, not just turnovers. They ran off of misses, and you didn't get back on defense, and then you didn't get out and run either. Like that is an effort thing. That's
It was effort and want, I think, is what we saw in the game like this. And so that's something we'll be monitoring going forward. Tomorrow we'll be back with the show, talk about what the rest of the season means for the Mavericks on the court. We'll talk about some more things related to the Anthony Davis injury. Go check out Slightly Biased YouTube channel and on Haymaker. Great stuff all the time on that show. Check the links in the description for the Everydayer Club as well as the text line. 2 things you can subscribe to help support the show. Thanks for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom.
40 more.
43.
43 more.